Okay, guys, my name is Wassim. I'm very sorry. You know why my voice is like this. It's not usually like this. If you remember, yesterday, I think, together we were in front of the Egyptian embassy, together saying down, down with Mubarak in English, and together we were saying we will fight, we will win Cairo, London, Rome, Berlin. Thank you very, very, very much for coming yesterday. It was so much. So lively. You bring in this exuberance and the colors and the music. And also, perhaps more importantly, the color and exuberance, is you brought with you a very clear political message. And that political message was standing with the people revolting in Egypt. It's almost an internal affair for you guys here in England. The message you gave was, it is the same fight, perhaps at rather different stages of political struggle. Okay. But essentially, the core of it is the same, economically and politically. And that's extremely important, because the same neoliberal policies, they attack not only the living standards of people, not only that they make unemployment rampant in society, in a sense, not only that the neoliberal policies take bread literally from the hands of children, but the neoliberal policies also need, in order to be applied, it needs a hand of steel. It needs the might of the state to crack down on the people, on their liberties, on their freedoms, on the voices of dissent. Because otherwise, I don't think that the majority of the population will take it very lightly and democratically and happily, and on their back, saying thank you very much for sending us on the dole. But of course, in Egypt there is no dole even. If you are unemployed, you don't have food. So this fight is essentially here with this two-sided nature of it. The same people who are attacking the living standards here are the same people who are not at all listening to the voices of the people. They are giving the deaf ear to the voices of the people most concerned. And this is not a new thing, this is not a Cameroon thing. This also started with the neoliberal policies of Labour. If you remember, when, as part of this new strategy, they needed, or they wanted to go and invade Iraq. And the day they invaded Iraq, or they decided to invade Iraq, was a sad day, not only for the people in the Arab world, not only for the thousands who died here, the British soldiers, and almost a million Iraqis. It was a black and sad day for democracy in this country, because they went to war against the wishes of the people. And I just want to tell you a glimpse, just a little anecdote. Something happened yesterday in Tahrir Square, which is the equivalent of Trafalgar Square. There is the Egyptian Museum, and the Egyptian Museum is probably the most concentrated place that has human antiquities in the world. And I remember when I was young, Anwar Sadat was trying to flirt with the United States, and literally he gave a necklace worn by Nefertiti. He gave it to Rosalind Carter, the then president. That's how those rulers deal with the Egyptian pharaonic and human history, essentially. This same museum, every now and then during these governments, you hear, oh, there's a necklace went astray somewhere. No one knows, but because there are no thieves in the museum, but suddenly it disappeared. Every other day, another necklace goes, and so on. And yesterday, when the protesters made the police almost in the whole of the capital, Cairo, just run away and hide themselves somewhere in fear probably, and in shame definitely. One of the places they just left was the Egyptian Museum. Probably when they heard the masses saying down, down with all the tyrants, even those guards in front of the museum thought that they were meant by this because they think themselves as part of the state, and they ran. And some people were angry enough that they wanted to break things inside, not to loot, as in take away, just to break things, anything. And what happened is that same Egyptian museum that its contents has been given as presents, and its contents has been going astray every now and then. The protesters themselves formed a cordon around the Egyptian museum to protect it. The same people protesting against the government. They were the same people who saved this heritage, saved this treasure of the nation. And what I want to say here is that education itself is a treasure of this nation. It's a treasure of all nations. And what we have here is two sides. One of them, the neoliberals, who want to make the education less accessible, more expensive, the teachers more dispensable, and of course paid less on one hand, and to make education also less exciting. They hope to close down anything or all the departments that are not so profitable, like humanities particularly. And we have on the other side the people who make the education, who create this treasure. We have the students and the teachers. And we have here, they have to come together and fight against the neoliberal economic policies and political policies for a better education and for a better society. Thank you very much.